Hey guys, what's up? Zax here. Today we are here the next episode of F1 YouTuber Career Mode. Today is Boss1996 here in Japan. I'll leave a link to his channel down below, but the lights are out and away we go here in Japan for the next round of the season. This is a very important race because we can really close the gap to the guys in front of us in the championship here today. As you might have saw in the last video, we closed the gap by quite a big amount actually to Hamilton and Rosberg in the championship, but I won't spoil it in case you haven't actually watched that video. But you can see Boss1996 starting on pole position here and already putting out a decent gap over the rest. Alonso's actually in second place here, which is actually good as well for us in the championship because Alonso isn't in a championship fight. So if we can finish in second place behind us here, we can make even more points back to Hamilton in third place, which is important. So first couple of corners here in Suzuka, make sure we don't do anything silly into the gravel or anything and lose this good position we've currently got. Nearly 2 seconds on Alonso already. I think this shows a pretty good start here from Boss1996 to pull away from the pack already, but it won't be too surprised actually if the AI do manage to catch up, because the AI somehow don't have any tyre wear sometimes, which is kind of crazy. And I found this in my co-op career actually around here as well. AI seem to have like no degradation, which is kind of annoying, but at the same time I suppose it's just how they maybe set up the car. So Boss1996 running a little bit wide over the curves there. Now up to 130R down this long back straight. A really great corner 130R, one everyone just remembers through amazing sort of camera shots we get over the years. And maybe if you remember the Gracia, I think back in 2010, crashing on the formation lap, that was also a little bit weird. But anyway, looks like we're going to finish this first lap in the lead, and of course we did actually, but there wasn't much interesting going on from the end of lap 1 over to the start of lap number 6 here. You can see that some people have actually gone into the pit lane here, so we should be opening up the gap to the cars behind and hopefully be able to get out in front of them whilst they are pitted as well. Some cars are pitted, some cars have not. You can see that the order's slightly changed up a bit with Rosberg now in third place. I think Hamilton probably has stopped, and this is our pit stop lap here at the end of lap number 6. It'll be interesting to see whether we can come out in front of the other cars. I mean, I know Alonso's about 3 seconds back here, but maybe Hamilton could have a really good outlap and possibly jump us on. Maybe that's a bit far-fetched, but we mustn't forget the Mercedes is incredibly fast in this game, so I wouldn't actually be too surprised if at least got right up behind us after this pit stop here. So the Williams closely towards the end of the pit lane here. We've got about 1 laps of extra fuel on board as well, so we should be able to push on our outlap as well. A 3.7 stop, pretty much the usual in this game. I think it pretty much averages between 3.5 and 3.8, somewhere in between there. But who's this coming down the main straight here? I'm not too sure it is. I don't think it's Hamilton. It's probably actually Kvyat here, who's had a really good run through turn 1 there and nearly actually hit the back of us, but luckily he hasn't. But actually quite important that we got out in front of Kvyat there, because he might have held us up if he'd got in front of us here. So that's really important. We got out in front of him. Now we'll be looking towards the end of this lap here to see whether we do get past all of these cars that are in front of us. Obviously our teammate Massa hasn't stopped, as well as 3 other cars in front of him. So it should be pretty interesting to see whether we can get in front of them. I assume we will, unless they have a really good in-lap. I doubt they'll be anywhere near us, to be perfectly honest, because we had a really good lead, and now the fact that they're staying out longer, their tyres will be going off. Unless they go for the prime tyres to start off this race, I really doubt they did. But in case they did start this race on the prime compound tyres, they will be going into the pits this lap here, which to me is actually a bit strange, because I sort of think on a 13-lap race should be pitting on laps 5 and 6, not 6 and 7. But I suppose Williams do have a bit of a weird strategy in real life, don't they? Seem to pit their drivers whenever the hell they want to. So let's see what happens here with Massa. But I'm assuming he will be coming out behind us here after this pit stop. I think you saw in the split a second ago. I think he's about 10 seconds in front of us there. So we should easily get past them here, unless we make a mistake in these final couple of turns here. But overall, a great race here from Boss1996. He's had a good run here, and he's got ahead of Kvyat, which is actually really important. We've closed the gap to Massa by a couple of tenths a second in that middle sector as well. So I'll see through this final sector here how much time we do actually gain and whether we come out in front of all the cars in the pit lane here. You can see, I think all of them are in the pit lane here, as Boss uses rich fuel mixture as we go across the start-finish line. Looks like we'll come out ahead of everyone here, and Rosberg did decide to stay up for that extra lap, so it's quite close here. You can see in the mirrors there, Rosberg not actually that far behind here. Rosberg, I think, will jump Alonso. No, he slightly gets stuck on the inside. Actually, maybe he got back past him there. That would have been great to see, but obviously we can't see from the AI's point of view a camera angle. But it looked like there was a bit of contact there between Rosberg and Alonso coming out the pit lane there, as they were very close. Lap number 9 of this race here, you can see Boss has actually got a lot of pressure now, because Rosberg has caught up to the back of him here. I'm not too sure whether it's just Boss maybe running out a bit of tyre wear here. Maybe his tyres just slightly going off towards the end of this race here. Maybe just meaning the car is not as easy to drive throughout this last part of the race here. Obviously when we go across the start finish line we'll have 4 laps to go, and it might be quite a bit of a challenge actually to defend from these guys. I think behind us, I can't really see who's in 4th place, but obviously we've got Rosberg and Alonso behind us, and it looks like a silver car in 4th place. I'm not too sure if that's Hamilton. Oh yeah, it is. It's confirmed there at the top left hand side of your screen. That is Lewis Hamilton there in 4th place, but that's quite a bit of pressure there from Rosberg. He was right behind us. He'll have the DRS down the main straight as well, but he didn't really have enough of a run down that main straight to get past us there, so that's unfortunate for him. But anyway, we'll skip ahead to lap number 11 here when Rosberg has a lot more pressure on us here. He's right behind us as we head to 130R here. Boss pretty much just leaves it in the middle of the track here as we turn into 130R. There might have been a bit of contact there as actually we went into 130R, but as we exit it, we're all right. Rosberg's still behind us, which is most important here. And now we're going to run to the start-finish line here to go on to lap number 12 and hopefully be able to maintain this lead with 2 laps to go of this Grand Prix now. And obviously we're down to 20 cars as well, so 2 cars have actually retired from this race. Not too sure who they are, but it's weird to see actually 2 cars retiring from the race here in Suzuka. I don't think I've actually had anybody retire, if I remember correctly, in my Suzuka races so far. But anyway, most importantly now, we're just going to try and finish these last 1.5 laps of this Grand Prix and hopefully bring home a very important victory here. You can see we've skipped ahead to the last lap of the race here. Boss slightly getting a bit sideways going into the hairpin there, but luckily we managed to get out all right. I'm not too sure what's happened to Rosberg here. He's outside the top 3 now. Alonso's managed to get up into 2nd place, whilst Hamilton's made his way into 3rd place. I'm not too sure what's happened to Rosberg here. We haven't had any retirement, so he hasn't retired like he did in Singapore. But something obviously quite major has happened to Rosberg here because he's fell down the order. He's outside the top 3, and I'm assuming it's not him in 4th place either because there's a big old queue behind 4th place, and let's be honest, Rosberg in the Mercedes wouldn't be holding people up. So I'm assuming he's dropped even further. He might even be outside the top 10 at this point. I'm not even too sure, to be perfectly honest, but something obviously pretty major has happened to Rosberg in these last 2 laps of this Grand Prix here. Obviously Boss didn't capture it in his footage, but as we head across the start finish line here, we'll see we win the race, we'll get the 25 points, and we maybe take the lead of the championship. We'll see how everything's played out, but we might have actually took back the championship lead. After that great race in Singapore from Josh, we might actually be able to go from back-to-back victories here and maybe take the championship lead. I can't remember. We'll see in a second. And look at that, Rosberg's dropped down to 10th place. I'm actually thinking, maybe did he go for an extra pit stop? That would make a bit more sense because he's 6 seconds behind Hulkenberg and what's 6 seconds ahead of Magnussen in 11th place. So that's very interesting there. Vettel and Maldonado were your 2 retirements from that Grand Prix there, but very interesting to see there. I think Rosberg must have pitted. I didn't see it in the footage, so I'm a bit confused at what happened there. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that Grand Prix, guys. A lot more defending in that race than actually going out and attacking, obviously, because we started on the pole position. So, obviously, it's going to be pretty tough to overtake cars when you're already in the lead of the race. But Boss did a great job of defending and holding off Alonso, Rosberg and Hamilton in that 4-way fight for the lead of the race. So he managed to bring home the win and the 25 points. And this is how it affects the driver standings. Yes, you read that right. We are only now 2 points behind Hamilton in the lead of this championship. And Rosberg slipped back to 3rd place. He had such a big lead a couple of Grand Prix back, but now he finished 10th in that race and then retired from the Singapore Grand Prix. And that's put him way down the order now, or way down the points, I should say. I mean, I know you're saying it's probably only 13 points, but he had about like a 25-point lead over Hamilton a couple of races ago. So that is absolutely crazy. And obviously Vettel still gets 3rd. Alonso's in 5th place, still ahead of Ricciardo. Massa's now in 7th place, 4 points ahead of Hulkenberg. Then Raikkonen and Magnussen are the people at the end of the top 10 there. Then Mercedes over 500 points now in the Constructors. Williams, we're actually maybe closing down a little bit there actually in 2nd place. Then Red Bull in 3rd. We've got a decent lead over Red Bull now, over 50 points. That's important for us. And we should be able to keep that towards the end of the season. Then Ferrari, who are actually starting to close in a little bit on Red Bull here. So that might be quite interesting to see whether they can catch them. I doubt it, but we maybe, just maybe, we'll see Ferrari overtake Red Bull towards the end of this championship. And Force India over 100 points, which is important for them. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See you in the next video in a couple of days' time. Thanks, I'm out here. Goodbye.